What if we broke the mold to truly evolve our show together? What if we took you with us behind the scenes just for once? What if we put the spotlight more on train spotting today? What if we shared with you everything we actually experience outside of the usual segments more openly?
Là, on a l'interrégionaux Nantes qui devrait passer, mais dans quelques secondes.
Of course, always keeping history, technology, and tourism right at the heart of it. This would create a whole new format, truly unique and pioneering. Welcome to the bold, exciting new adventures of Rail One.
Today we're in Valais to discover RegionAlps and their new FLIRT Evo trains.
There are 4 different people on the team: Papillon, Evan, Killian, our special guest, and me.
Hi, I'm Killian. I've actually been invited by Rail One here today, and my role is to guide the team as the pilot.
I'm Papillon. Yes, that's an original first name, I know. I do camera work, photography and drone footage.
Today, the new FLIRT trains are running between Saint-Gingolph and Brigg, and we're going to focus on the Saint-Gingolph to Sion segment. Nestled between the scenic shores of Lake Geneva and the towering Valaisan peaks, the Saint-Gingolph to Brigg railway line follows the Rhône, with its story beginning in the late 1850s. The very first section, connecting Bouvray to Saint-Maurice, was officially put into service on July 14, 1859, by the Compagnie de la Ligne d'Italie. In the following year, the line was further extended from Saint-Maurice all the way to Sion. But why were no rails laid on the few remaining kilometers between Bouvray and Saint-Gingolph? Originally, at Bouvray, goods were transported across the water by boat, so there was no real economic interest in directly connecting Bouvray to Saint-Gingolph. This specific link would only come about many years later, at the same time as the growing desire to open the Bouvray-Saint-Gingolph-Evian line in neighboring France. In 1878, the line finally opened as far as Saint-Gingolph, then later, in 1886, to Evian, almost 20 years after the main line was first inaugurated. And to fully grasp the extent of this significant delay, just compare the time it took to open the short Bouvray-Saint-Gingolph link. During that same period, the much longer Sion-Sierre-Brigg line, which is several dozen kilometers long, was fully built and operational over a much longer and complex route. And it was at this precise time that a unique nickname appeared, the Tonkin line. The workers saw striking geological similarities with Indochina, then a French colony, where the so-called real Tonkin line existed. By analogy, this small section inherited a distinctive name that is still widely used and firmly rooted in local history even to this day. Importantly, the Saint-Gingolph to Brigg line has been fully operational since 1878. It is one of the major routes built very early in railway history, but at that time it had a significant limitation. It was a single track, just one line between stations, which inevitably restricted traffic capacity. So, from the early 1900s, a major project was launched, the gradual doubling of the line between Saint-Maurice and Brigg. This was a very gradual and irregular process that would stretch over more than a century, finally being completed in 2004 with the doubling of the Salgesh, Loic section. That covers infrastructure. On the operation side, the story is just as eventful. The company behind the opening of the line, the Compagnie de la Ligne d'Italie, went bankrupt and was taken over in 1874 by the Compagnie du Simplon shortly thereafter. At the time, the latter did not demonstrate a great deal of creativity with its name, simply taking it from the Simplon Massif, through which the line would connect to Italy at the start of the 20th century. It was the Compagnie du Simplon that successfully finished the entire construction process of the Cyan Brick section in 1878. Today, this long railway history continues in a quieter yet still very meaningful way in another form. Since 2003, regional traffic in Valais has been operated by RegionAlps, a subsidiary of the Swiss Federal Railways, SBB, which is also owned by the canton of Valais and transport Martigny et Région. It operates two lines, Martigny-Orsières-Le Chable, here to my left, and Saint-Gingolph-Brigg, still known today, and now you know why, as the Tonkin line and the Simplon line.
Alors, elle est où la Domino? Ah, elle est là, elle arrive à Sion. Donc on va à Eviona.
So this is actually the very first train spotting experience we're going to share with our viewers. We have chosen the site at Eviona to try to spot a Domino, an older classic train model that's currently being replaced by the newer FLIRT Evo.
Donc là, du coup, la ligne, elle est de l'autre côté de l'autoroute. Hein.
Là, on passe dessous, là, maintenant.
Ah ouais,
elle est là.
Okay. I'm not used to train spotting, and I am finding it quite interesting to actually do it for the very first time.
Là, tu peux sortir, prends à droite, là.
When I hear Domino, since I'm not really a train expert, it reminds me of the games I used to play with my grandfather, but I don't think that's what we're talking about here.
La grande question, c'est on part à droite ou on part à gauche au bout du pont?
Bah là-bas, t'as les montagnes et tout. Tu vois, ça sort et tout avec les montagnes, puis là-bas, bah, c'est plus dégagé, quoi.
In the end, we go left. We know that to the right there are some rather industrial sites in Eviona.
C'est vrai que là, on pourrait l'avoir en sortie de courbe, ça peut être joli. Aussi.
Oui, ça peut être sympa.
Parce que le train, il arrive comme ça, vers nous?
Non, derrière.
Ah, il arrive depuis derrière.
Il va en direction de Saint-Gingolph.
So once we arrive on site, we are on the outside of the curve. It is really quite a nice spot.
The environment isn't easy. We've got the Rhône, the highway, and a lot of high voltage power lines. I like to do complex movements, but here I'm going to do a simple one.
Alors, notre régio est parti de Martigny, donc dans 6 minutes, il est à Eviona.
As far as the sun goes, we're in a good spot. We're just worried that a cloud might suddenly pass by right when the train comes. That would mess up our lighting.
Elle devrait arriver incessamment sous peu.
Elle est normalement maintenant à Eviona.
Ah, il y a un petit nuage qui revient sur nous.
C'est bon, ça revient le soleil. Elle est là. Et bah, je savais pas que c'était la Canal 9.
Moi non plus, du coup, tu vois.
Tant mieux ou tant pis?
Ouais. On va dire que ça sera une surprise qui n'était pas prévue.
I was expecting to see a red and white train go by, but actually it was black and yellow.
We knew it was going to be a Domino, but we didn't know it would be the one in the livery of one of our broadcasters, Canal 9. That was a big surprise. In any case, it's a good warm-up for the rest of the day and the challenge that awaits us later.
Prochain arrêt, Bouvray.
On a le Bouvray, ouais. So let me introduce myself. Besse Pierre-Etienne. I'm 38 years old, married, and the proud father of 2 children. I've been working for RegionAlps for 1 year now as a locomotive driver. Otherwise, when it comes to my hobbies, I love everything outdoors, so I do a lot of hiking and a lot of trail. Là, on sent que le rail est un tout petit peu glissant, on sent qu'il fait beau. Il y a un peu de brouillard, de condensation, et puis le véhicule a tendance un tout petit peu à patiner si on tractionne un peu fort. And actually, in my career, we can go back a long way. Since I was very young, I already had a real passion for trains. So for me, it was already clear from early childhood that I really wanted to work with trains. I followed the standard route. I did an apprenticeship in mechanics as a polymechanic, formerly a precision mechanic. As soon as I could, I signed up to become a train driver. So in 2009, just 2 years after finishing my apprenticeship, I officially started working as a train driver at SBB. I moved through a lot of different roles, but I always kept my license to be a driver. After that, I did a bit of dispatching and planning. When I got the opportunity in 2024, I came back to Valais, so closer to home, as a train driver, but mainly as a dispatcher and planner. To manage the speed, you choose how much power you put into the engines to reach the desired speed. And once you've reached our speed, the line speed, it's up to us to reduce that power, to decrease it, or even if there's a slope, to start braking. Compared to the new trains, like the FLIRT Evo, which has a speed regulator similar to cruise control in a car, where you set a target speed for the vehicle, you give it traction, and the vehicle manages that speed 100% according to the gradient, depending on the inertial, and it detects whether it's going faster or slower. It's that which manages the speed. Actually, on the Saint-Jean-Golf to Sion line, we're right at the edge of the lake, so the tracks are almost right on the water's edge. Lower Valais is mostly fields, mostly agriculture. Then we move into central Valais. At the start of central Valais, near Martigny, we begin to enter the mountains and there are lots of orchards, until we finally arrive in Sion, where we pass through vineyards. And then we're truly in the heart of the Alps, in the midst of these mountains, with peaks over 3,000 meters and quite a few ski resorts you can see.
Bonjour, vous montez avec nous? Oui. Super, on vous attend. Merci. Service. Bonne journée.
I chose RegionAlps for two reasons that are quite important. So indeed, the first is the proximity between where I live and my workplace. It's true that we're based in Martigny. And then there's also this idea of being able to wear several hats. So staff dispatch, driving trains in a company that's a bit smaller, let's say a bit more like a family. We have more interactions, I would say. We have more room to maneuver and the work is more varied, maybe compared to SBB, which is a large company that's more compartmentalized. Actually, one of the major differences we have between the future vehicles, the FLIRT, the new trains, and the older ones is that in the older ones there's still this particular feature where we can control both types of brakes. So in each of our hands, on my right hand I have the electric brake or the electric traction, and on my left hand there's everything related to the air brake. So I can choose to use both types of brakes together, one or the other, unlike the new vehicles where everything is automated and then you've only got a joystick. The control logic will decide, depending on the state of the rail and the conditions the vehicle encounters, which brakes it will be able to use. The opportunity of having these new trains, the FLIRT Evo, lies in comfort and cutting-edge modernity today. So driving becomes a bit easier and more automated, making everyday operations smoother and freeing up the driver's time and resources to manage secondary tasks. Personally, I see it as a real opportunity for modernization, and it would be a great shame to miss out.
Michel, Nicolet, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Thank you for joining us here in Sion for the turning point of the program. We're now going to delve into the details of these FLIRT Evo. But perhaps before we begin, a quick reminder of what RegionAlps is.
Yes, RegionAlps is a subsidiary of the SBB. It operates locally in Valais. It's a company that currently has 106 employees who are mostly primarily locomotive drivers, as well as occasional conductors on the regional lines. In addition to the SBB, we also have two co-shareholders alongside SBB, the State of Valais and TMR.
Why was this transition in railway rolling stock from the Domino to the FLIRT Evo necessary from an operational standpoint?
So We're reaching the end of a cycle. The Domino is a vehicle that dates back to the early 80s, as you know, and we've made quite a few modifications to it, but now it's really at the end of its technical and economic lifespan. And right now is truly the right opportunity to move forward with acquiring a new train set to renew the entire company fleet as part of a broader long-term renewal strategy. We also have NINA units that will also reach the end of their lifespan in a few years.
What are the main really important features of these FLIRT Evo trains?
We know that this is a vehicle capable of reaching speeds of 160 kilometers per hour. Currently, we can run at 140 kilometers per hour, which allows us to make up minutes for the stability of our schedules, quality, and punctuality for our customers, something that is very important in real operating conditions on this network. We know that the timetable in Valais is very tight between international traffic, freight traffic, and long-distance traffic. And I think this is a major change that is expected by both us and our customers. We have a vehicle that is quiet. We have received a lot of positive feedback from residents living near the tracks. There is also increased comfort with platforms near the doors that can accommodate many people and offer much greater capacity. Another important aspect is that it is a technologically modern vehicle, so it also has the ability to feed energy back into the overhead line and to consume much less energy, using far less current for traction to provide these services.
So the new trains have arrived, but where will they be maintained?
Well, that's new as well. At the same time as the train, maintenance will be carried out in Martigny, in the middle of our network, by TMR. So this is a decision that was very carefully considered and discussed at length with the stakeholders, with our parent company, SBB as well, over a long and structured decision-making process, bearing in mind that the Dominos are currently maintained in Brig. So having this maintenance center in the middle of the network is absolutely crucial. It gives us the opportunity to be highly responsive on the Entremont lines towards Le Chablais-Dorsières from Martigny, and also on both sides of the Simplon line towards Brig or Saint-Gingolf.
Thank you, Michel, for this interview, and we look forward to meeting again on Rail 1.
My pleasure.
Now it's time to check out the Trainspotting challenge set by one of our colleagues who isn't on the shoot today, and that's actually Christophe, who wanted to send us a little message.
Hi team, for the spotting challenge, I'd like a long shot, which will then be sped up to really highlight its speed and flow of the FLIRT Evo on the longest straight stretch of track in Switzerland that isn't in a tunnel. Good luck and see you soon on Rail 1.
So, when I hear Christophe's challenge, to be honest, my first thought is that it's going to be quite a challenge right from the start, especially trying to follow the train by car. I hope we'll get some great footage.
Vu que c'est au drone, je me réjouis de relever ce défi. Il nous dit bonne chance, je sais pas si la chance a beaucoup à voir, mais... When I hear this challenge, it motivates me. Following a train like that over long distances, I love it.
La plus longue ligne droite hors tunnel, c'est entre Martigny et Ried. Ça avait été une question qu'on avait fait dans une précédente saison de Rail 1. Tu vois bien ici que là, tu as un véritable tronçon qui est totalement droit en fait. Ici. Donc Martigny est ici, Ried est ici, et sur toute cette longueur-là, c'est tout droit.
C'est marqué le nombre de kilomètres? Allez, calcul mental?
Non, moi je fais au téléphone. 79,44 moins 66,25, 13 km 190, selon Trafimage.
Ça me paraît pas très grand.
Ça fait déjà une belle longueur. Hein.
C'est vrai quand même.
We decide not to go all the way to Ried due to lack of time, given the constraints of the shoot. What's more, there still aren't that many FLIRTs running at the time of filming, so we need to prioritize Saxon to really have time to set up.
On va manger de l'abricot. Oh, tous ces sommets enneigés et tout, c'est sympa. Hein.
C'est joli là.
Ouais. Il va à combien de kills, Max, ton drone, toi?
Celui-ci en mode sport, il va à 70 km/h. We're discovering this long straight stretch between Ried and Martigny. Toi, tu as des infos sur le train où c'est qu'il est? Je le vois pas encore.
Il est parti de Ried.
Ok.
Là, je vois quelque chose qui arrive.
Une minute, ouais. Une minute, il a le Saxon.
Il y a qu'un seul train qui vient là.
Là, il n'y en a qu'un seul. On croisera une grande ligne vers Charafuy, normalement. Laisse encore 10 secondes.
Bah, de toute façon, il s'arrête une minute.
Il s'arrête pour repartir au 3. Maintenant, c'est le 3. Donc, il est censé repartir dès qu'il peut.
Il part maintenant.
Il va vraiment passer vite. Hein.
Ouais, là, il est déjà au niveau du drone.
Il est déjà au niveau du drone?
Ouais.
Ah, il est là. Ah oui, ok, oui. Ah oui, elle passe très vite.
When I see this FLIRT speeding past us, to be honest, I think there's no way we'll ever be able to keep up with it.
Ah oui, mais s'il y a des arrêts, on devrait pouvoir le suivre.
On devrait pouvoir essayer de le rattraper. Comme on s'est fait déposer.
Ah ouais, là pour le coup.
Ah ouais!
We're in the car with the drone overhead. We're trying to catch the train at Charat fully, as planned earlier, but when we get there, the train has already left. Bon, moi je continue d'avancer parce que moi je vais prendre un max d'avance. Là, il croise un autre train.
Ouais, l'interrégio, ce qui était prévu.
La prochaine halte, elle est assez proche ou elle est loin?
C'est Martigny.
Donc là, on a un bout. Hein. This challenge was a real test. Unfortunately, we weren't able to pull it off.
We're on a section where the maximum speed is 160 kilometers per hour. And honestly, that's not really a detail we took into account when we received Christophe's challenge.
Thank you, Christophe, for this challenge. Unfortunately, we didn't succeed, but we'll get another shot at it.
Originally, the RBDE 560S, also known as the Dominos, were ordered by SBB between 1987 and 1995. At that time, they did not yet carry the Domino nickname, but were referred to as Colibri by French-speaking regions, due to their former blue, yellow, red and white livery. In German-speaking regions, they were known as NPZ, as they were part of the Neuer Pendelzug project, meaning new shuttle trains in English. Between 2008 and 2013, a major refurbishment campaign was carried out to modernize most of the train sets, notably by replacing the intermediate car with low-floor Innova coaches. They would be equipped with air conditioning and a new paint scheme, and with a new look comes a new nickname. From then on, they would be called Domino. After the refurbishment, 16 sets were converted to the RegionAlps colors and renumbered from 401 to 416. One of them received a Canal 9 livery in 2022. RegionAlps also operates 4 NINA units derived from the BLS model, which run on the Martigny-Orsières-Le Chable line to replace older, aging railcars. To better understand how the FLIRT Evo will significantly improve the daily experience of both passengers and RegionAlps, let me first offer a brief comparison. But before that, why FLIRT Evo? FLIRT stands for Flinker Leichter Innovativer Regional Triebzug, meaning an innovative, agile and lightweight regional train designed for regional services. The suffix Evo denotes a major technological evolution from the first FLIRT trains built by Stadler since 2004. First, capacity is higher with 325 seats versus 288 and 248 in older vehicles. The open modern interior design features power outlets and spaces for people with reduced mobility. Performance-wise, the maximum speed now reaches 160 km per hour via thanks to improved traction, as well as a significantly reduced weight compared with the Dominos at just 129 tons empty. In terms of length, they remain within the standard at 73.5 meters. All 3 trains are equipped with automatic connectors. However, the FLIRT Evo trains use standardized Scharfenberg couplers like the NINA, whereas Domino trains have Schwab couplers. Regarding the number of trains, 27 new train sets were ordered to replace the 16 Domino and 4 NINA units. Ultimately, one of the primary reasons for the arrival of these FLIRT Evo trains is the age of the trains and their technological obsolescence. They will replace the Domino trains dating from 1987, so nearly 40 years old, and the NINA trains, which are over 20 years old.
J'ai reçu un message de Tristan. Il m'a envoyé une vidéo.
We were just about to finish filming. I had already posted in the group chat that unfortunately the challenge hadn't been completed, and then Tristan decided to send us a little extra bonus.
On va voir. Écoutons.
Hey team, during the shoot you followed a Domino and one of the new FLIRT Evo. Now, all you're missing is a shot of both trains side by side. That's why my challenge is to find a spot where the trains cross paths and get a great shot at exactly the right moment. I'm counting on you. Good luck.
Ah ouais, ok. Où les trains se croisent. Et les deux matériaux. Alors on va déjà trouver les points de croisement.
Ça, comme défi, on peut le filmer depuis la terre et depuis les airs.
Ouais.
On a plus de chances de le réussir.
There are quite a few factors to consider. First, we need to determine where the Regios cross today, and second, that this crossing involves both a FLIRT and a Domino. We do not have a great deal of time to do the research.
Alors donc on aurait un croisement à Chamoson.
Ça veut dire qu'on sort ici.
Sors là en attendant au cas où, ouais, parce que Chamoson... Ah oui, non mais Chamoson il est dans 13 minutes si c'est le bon, mais il faut qu'on vérifie le matériel. Alors c'est la Domino, c'est même la Domino Canal 9, je pense. Oh bingo, c'est la FLIRT. Oh, coup de bol.
Je vais où là?
Oui, passe tout droit pour le moment, ouais.
So we go through Rid, full of roadworks, heading towards Chamoson. And when we look at the screen, we realize it's better to go a bit further than the halt so we can capture both trains at the same time.
Là, on a l'interrégional Nantes qui devrait passer, mais dans quelques secondes. Ah oui, on voit le signal est ouvert. Est-ce que tu irais te mettre sur le pont? Avec un peu de chance, ils se croisent sous le pont.
My first instinct is to check whether in Chamoson we're not in a drone no-fly zone because of Sion Airport. Fortunately, according to the federal map, we're outside that zone, but we shouldn't get too close to Sion.
En tout cas, les deux ils vont partir en même temps. Hein.
Ils devraient... Soit ils se croisent juste avant la halte.
Parce que les deux ils vont partir en même temps.
Bah en fait, il y en a un qui s'arrête pas. Là, celui-là, il est à Reed, le 61-21.
Je vois la FLIRT arriver. Elle arrive vers vous dans 10 secondes.
10 secondes? T'arrives à la suivre ou pas?
Ouais.
Et t'as l'autre train qui devrait vraiment arriver tout soudain, la Canal 9.
Je vois des phares, c'est bon?
On les a.
In the end, we managed to capture the crossing at the halt, and it illustrates in a very concrete way what's happening, the Domino handing over to the FLIRT.
The shoot went really well overall. There was a great atmosphere, something of an almost mystical vibe with this weather in the valley.
What I really enjoyed during the shoot was, to be honest, chasing the trains. It's something that's pretty fun to do and quite rare.
A big thank you to RegionAlps for the collaboration, a pioneering episode around these FLIRT Evo that paves the way together for some amazing future adventures ahead. And don't forget, this is Rail 1.